OXG.
Okay.
But as we have been doing so far today, statistics will be popping up on your screen, showing you what the likelihood is of a team making it out of the groups and into the playoffs, or making it out of the groups and onto a plane to go home.
Oh, man.
They'll be leaving early, just like me. Maybe I will be leading the way for North America. Maybe I'll be taking them with me. Who knows? Operator bans are coming in. Gaimin Gladiators starting on defense first. OXG on attack. Twitch being banned out against Oxygen.
Bit of a target ban. Saw one earlier between W7M and Wolves. That was Sledge on Chalet. Twitch now on Villa instead. Valkyrie follows along as well as the first defender. Pretty common stuff so far. Final defender says Kaid off the board. Likely because statue being banned. They don't want to deal with the Kaid because it's so difficult. You gotta get the nades over the reinforcements below the walls. Gotta take vertical control. It makes Villa a much more dynamic map when Kaid is open because you gotta deal with so many more floors. So this simplifies that entire situation for both teams, of course. It's going to be Gaimin Gladiators on the defense starting and OXG on the attack. And FaZe already showing off that Nuke operator that is so often played on Villa. Why? Get an entire basement free for your disposal to sneak around. You got 3 different staircases essentially you can use. And really, it's a big map, Villa. So when you can walk around basically silently as Nuke and no one can see you on those default cameras, it just means you can sneak up the staircase as a surprise, get a free kill, and just vanish away again, rinse, repeat. And it's just a mentally frustrating thing to worry about. But Gaimin Gladiators, they gotta do just that because they did not ban this operator out. They got the Legion instead from Tolji that maybe can put those goo mines on the staircases to give them a bit of a heads up if the Nuke were to sneak about.
5 seconds left.
Finka escaping the operator ban, by the way, so that means that Newers will be running that operator for most, if not every single round on attack. When Finka was banned against Oxygen yesterday, Newers was on Nook and Yana, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
People are saying that North America is on Fraud Watch, Lamicki region, or whatever poisoned brain worms language that the subreddit likes to use every single time. You ever go to a post-thread comment, post-match thread, and it's like, Lamicki region, Fraud Watch. Please speak English, I beg you.
I do like that Lamicki region, to be fair. Demo used that as a term
Demo
as well.
used it, and then the subreddit took it and just ran with it. So, anywho, whether they're on Fraud Watch or not, OXG will be running Finka every single round, as will most of every region for that matter.
Yeah.
It's not just a uniquely North American thing.
No, it's not. Actually, nades already flying out of the pockets right now, trying to do some damage. But not a whole lot has been done. And up. Oben says goodnight. Newers, the Finka's off the board. No one from OXG nearby to trade it back. In fact, the closest member is Vertical, who's on a drone. So Newers, you can sit on flank duty right now on those cameras. You are no longer on this server with us. Of course, he did spend his grenades first at the very least. 2 in the pocket of Vert, 2 more nades in the pocket of FaZe. They gotta start doing something because half the round is over and no one has really moved further in than the first room of the entry point. Rix finds a second, and OXG in for a really, really rough start.
Not exactly what they need, especially given that if you fail to win this, you are at 0-3 so far for the groups. A great tweet from Caliber. Jacob came out saying that of all the majors that we've seen now, as Dream picks up the very first kill for OXG, of all of the majors that we've seen, the likelihood of a team coming back from 0-3 is basically 0. The only team that he could recall that did it was Team 1 in Mexico, and that was under the most bizarre circumstances that we have seen. This round at this point is just a technicality unless FaZe can start to string a couple of these together, and maybe the dream is not dead just yet. That's 2 kills for FaZe very quickly. Both Ape and Tolji, the same position. They know FaZe's whereabouts as they'll shoot away on the magnets. Keep in mind that when that hell is activated, FaZe can make very limited noise. Steps in a goo mine though, so his position on those stairs is known, and Tolji will pivot. A control study, good control at 90. Both areas that will need to be held by Gaimin Gladiators as FaZe creeps up. If he can isolate these players, he could win a 1v2 quite effectively here, but he's only got 20 seconds to go and he's got no information. Diffuser is down. Goo mines could litter his way towards his opponents. He's got a good idea of where they are. Finds the Legion, cannot defeat Tolji. The 1v2 not to be had for Oxygen. Very close and a good spirited effort. But FoxA just can't get it done. And the very passive, very patient defense from Gaimin Gladiators is just too strong.
Pays off. And I had to check my watch just now because it seems like both Wolves in our previous matchup and now OXG in our current matchup, it feels like it's 9 a.m. first game of the day kind of vibe because they're asleep at the wheel, no offense, but nothing's really happening on the attacking side. We're walking around, waiting, droning, holding angles, and then we realize, oh snap, the round's over. There's no time left. And then we run up a staircase and we just all die. 1 versus 1 versus 1. Hoven found 2. It was 1 from Rix, 1 from Tolji, and 1 from Ape. So more needs to happen in the first minute and a half, and we need to be much more proactive and even more importantly, trade off each other in those gunfights so that if Newers is main door and he gets swung, someone is nearby, close enough and ready to take that gunfight, make that 1 versus 1 a 2v1 and trade it back so at the very least you're equal at 4 members apiece. See if they can do it differently here on the trophy stat. Cherry Bum says that is a second place. We'll go with Gaimin Gladiators extending down with 3 members quite aggressively, even putting down a couple of Mute Jammers and Alibi Prismas, really spreading out their utility across both floors.
I don't know if we talked enough in that previous matchup when we were addressing things like pacing.
Yeah.
We touched on it just a tiny bit at the end, but the fact that oftentimes you want to dictate that pacing, but you're at the mercy of your opponents here. What a shot. Hoven, 2 in a row with these opening picks. And an exact repeat of the previous round. OXG forfeits that very first pick. Gaimin Gladiators first blood. Vert knows Hoven is here, though. There's a ping on the floor. Nobody for backup. Oh my, Hoven looks the wrong way. Did not expect OXG to be so forward. A minute off the clock. Vertical's already in, Laxing not too far away. Laxing dry peeking a lot of angles on that entry. What, do you not have drones?
Do you have them?
Rogue didn't have them in their match against Nip. I don't know if you saw Spart.
I saw that, yeah. Spart was not happy. It's like, they're hiding in corners!
It's okay, it's his first LAN. He has to piss off an entire fan base somehow.
You're not wrong about that.
Now he's a real Rainbow Six gamer. Halfway point of this round. Newers down, Hoven down. Hoven, the first blood in both of the rounds, and then a kill through the mid-round of last round. Star performer for Gaimin Gladiators. Again, very slow. Much slower pace than what we saw out of these teams yesterday. Yes. Much slower pace than what we've seen out of actually a lot of the matches today.
Yeah. Just kind of walking around and both teams kind of fishing for something here. Fox and Astrapel. Laxing found Joe, actually, with that LMG in hand. That's going to be from that wall 4 area in towards the bomb site itself. Ape looking to aggress forward, finds a nice headshot, extends for a second, finds that as well. It's Vert and Laxing off the board now, leaving just Foxy and Dream with a dream to be had of winning this round.
It was fun when OXG and FURIA play because you've got Fantasy, you've got Dream, you've got Miracle all in the same sentence. You play off of these different names, but a hope and a prayer would make more sense here, and Hope's fittingly the name of the coach for OXG.
Oh boy.
Being thwarted right now by the intel denial, and you can see the drones being stopped. Tolji engaging with FoxA, and Nate goes out. FoxA decides to re-engage, but Tolji has his number. Dream takes down Ape and is in the midst of the site, but the Malusi Banshee gives his position away, and a limp-wristed gunfight will break out between the two of them. Tolji is so close to closing in on Dream, pushing up. The ambulances have been called. I don't know if you can hear it, but they're looking in the wrong direction. How did they not know Dream was coming from that angle? Rix has to play this pixel perfect. The time getting towards 0, and he sees Dream quite easily and looking up towards the sky. Words of a prayer? I'm not exactly certain. Gaimin Gladiators in the clutch. The final moments of the round take it yet again. Denying Oxygen was the last second heroics.
It's an awfully weird 1 versus 2 because it looked like Rix was trying to pretend to be a fake Alibi Prisma standing still in Astro, and then Dream shot towards him, but he didn't realize, so he was looking the wrong way, and then Dream gets to 1v1, and there's no time, and I don't know. It's so puzzling.
Was it Ape who was just standing against the wall looking the wrong direction, or Tolji? One of the two that was picked off inside of Statuary?
Yeah. I was like...
You know he's in Beth.
He just shot at you.
Where are you looking?
I don't know.
What are you doing?
I don't know. It's
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
an odd one.
An odd one is absolutely correct. Third bomb site, Kitchen on the board. Aviator to Trophy to Kitchen. That is the default rotation of bomb sites for Villa. The other bomb site, Library and Living Room, or Library, depending on where you live in North America. Library and Living Room, seldom seen, but can be brought out as a pocket pick. Similar to what we talked about bar and stock yesterday on the clubhouse matches that we've seen. Villa's not a map where every single bomb site is used heavily in rotation, unlike the map like Chalet, which we just watched in the previous matchup. So, okay, what about Library and Living Room? Makes it all that accessible or not, or inaccessible? It's that it's very hard for you to hold on to as the defenders, especially when you lose those two panels next to the armoire. Down at the bottom of your screen is the probability of either of these teams making it out of the groups. Neither can clinch a spot today.
Yeah.
The gray means that it relies on the results of the next couple matches. And, I mean, at this point, they're not at 0% yet. But if OXG loses in regulation, fail to pick up a single point, that means they have just a 6% chance of making it into the playoffs. For a team that finished 4th in Charlotte, for a team that continues to finish atop the standings in NAL, it's not the result that you want. Gaimin Gladiators aren't much better suited to make it out of the groups and in the playoffs, but there is a chance there. A small one. But they're going to need almost a miracle run. At this point, with the way that W7M is playing, it seems like the fight will be for second place.
I agree. 4 C4s on the defensive side here. Pulse giving information. People tossing those C4s up the verticality. Haven't done any damage. 2 has been spent, 2 still in pocket. Joe roaming above with that assistance with the pulse scanner. So he's not alone entirely, but no other guns that are helping quite just yet. C4 goes out, does a little bit of damage, but not really anything of value.
These explosives are just tickling the players. 3 C4s have now been used of the 4 that were brought, as you talked about. Inside of the bathroom, told you aims for a good fight, but he is really in a rock and a hard place. It requires Oppe to come on up, but guess what? You've got a bullet hose on the other side of that, and Newers can just hold down that trigger and never stop firing. Oppe had come to the rescue, and he does bail out his teammate, but dies in the process.
He saves him, technically speaking.
I guess, yeah, that's correct. Tolji's the next one to go to Fox, eh? The Flores coming in, only 1 Rotero drone used with the firepower from the weapon instead, being what's most important. OXG with the big lead. Their first blood. Funny thing to say. 5v3 becomes a 5v2 now as Rix is down as well. Joe, not a ton of ammunition in that Roni, but just enough to dispatch a Fox inside of the bomb site. Hoven is up top, and I don't know if they were aware that Vertical was there. Either way, he gets the kill. Joe is down, finished off by Newers. A second kill for the Finka main. Hoven will watch as the diffuser gets planted. Now realize he has 45 seconds to get down into the bomb site and get to that same diffuser. But the most perilously hard part of this is going to be to drop. And, well, he had an opportunity to line up and kill Newers. Almost missed out on it. His position is known. One player from OXG's gone towards the top. Dream standing and waiting. But Hoven putting a nice bit together. All he's got to do is take care of Laxing, but Laxing will play keep away. Use those avenues that were created in the floor. Watch the diffuser. There it is, Laxing over top of it. He sees Hoven running out of time. Hoven has only 3 seconds to go, but that's Laxing to clutch out. No real opportunity when you look at how little time was left on the clock for Hoven to make that clutch happen. And OXG gets on the board.
I really want to praise Laxing there because whenever you get the bomb down on a floor with soft ceiling above it, just going above like you did, put yourself in such it's like a 90 to 10% win rate scenario where it's so hard to, be Hoven in that position. You gotta fight the vertical angle. It's a tiny one. Laxing can hear the sound cue of the diffuse, etc. So if all things went wrong, like it basically did, Laxing going above ensures a safety mechanism. Says, you know what, you guys can throw on side. I'll just go upstairs and figure it out on my own. And it's something that every single team should try and keep. One person on that verticality can make such a big difference. Of course, Vert was up there, but it was Hoven himself who flanked the upper area and took down that member of OXG. Laxing retook it back where we started at AVG. Gaimin Gladiators finding a lot of kills in these rounds.
Is it just me, by the way, that when I hear AVG, the first thing I think of is the antivirus software?
Oh. Yeah, I did not what I had in mind because I played too much Siege, but yeah, actually.
I remember when we first started casting Villa, we were trying to figure out ways to quickly call things. It was Kix who came up with AVG. And I was like, I said to him afterwards, you know that's an antivirus software. Like, and he's like, no.
He said no?
He didn't know.
Oh, wow.
And then I realized it was at that exact moment that I had heavily dated myself because AVG was like an antivirus software back in like, God, what?
Early days.
Mid-2000s,
Yeah.
late 2000s. And I'm like, Kix would have been like 7 years old. So he probably didn't have the best knowledge at that point of antivirus software. Anyway.
That's fair. That's funny, actually. I didn't know that.
And I was like, so we'll just call it Aviator Games. But then AVG stopped. So here we are. And you're correct. That is where things began. Gaimin Gladiators getting the first 2 picks in rounds 1 and 2. Diffusers going down in rounds 2 and 3 for Oxygen. They failed in the post-plant round 2. Did significantly better in round 3. First pick's going to go to Laxing on the Told You. What was the Malusi doing?
Laxing, honestly, in most of the games here at the Builder Major has been finding opening kills, clutches, aces, top performer for his team. Also, again, he's playing smart in that post-plant last round as well. So Laxing having a phenomenal performance so far. Also being given more freedom on OXG as a team where he can play the attacker repick. He plays multiple operators, and lately it's been Ash and Sophia. But also Foxy with that flank in 90. Vert nades below. This is OXG doing everything correctly. Map control, verticality, opening kill, and no one is exposing themselves to those 1v1s.
It really is incredible to see Laxing perform towards the top of this team, but I would argue that most of OXG is showing up here in this matchup. Hoven's the last man standing now, as all of his teammates have died, and that's the Assassin's Creed, but it's a failed attempt. No knife there to be had. Flawless round for Oxygen as they tie up the game.
Rounds going really, really one-sided besides the kitchen one, where the first 2 rounds, Gaimin Gladiators convincingly gets the man advantage. Of course, then they're having some shenanigans where they're peeking too much, and like Foxy almost clutches, Dream almost clutches, etc. But it's been like 1v3s, and then all of a sudden, we get a 1v1 super close kitchen defense, then we get a flawless round, second time out on AVG. So really a back and forth scenario right now. 5th round on the way. Back to trophy we go. Not going to go AVG again because, you know what? We're not going to go back. We just lost. It doesn't make any sense. We're going to change things up as much as we can. You see what's going to work instead. Ape really playing a fair bit of Oryx in most maps of Gaimin Gladiators. They played Oregon so far. They played Cafe. Now they're playing Villa. Whereas OXG also have played Clubhouse. Twice, in fact. For the first time, they find themselves on a different map. Right here on Villa.
10 seconds to go.
These teams are both fairly evenly matched, which I do find a little interesting because the praise that we heaped on Gaimin Gladiators in their matches yesterday, and you and I actually casted all of Group C yesterday.
Yes.
And now we're back here with Group C again. We're just Group C casters, Nick. That's all we are.
Actually, that is what we are.
That is correct. That's all we are. We're Group C casters. But either way, we heaped a lot of praise on the Gaimin Gladiators because I feel like the expectations for them were so low coming into this match. And this matchup against Wolves to start things off. A relatively unknown APAC South team. Outside of those who watch APAC South.
Yeah.
Not exactly a big name globally, playing their first international tournament. A team that didn't even exist, what, 4 months ago or something along those lines. Just showing up.
Even in APAC South, people did not expect them to qualify because it was like on the final Playday, they basically stole Knight's spot, and now they're here instead. So even domestically, not that many teams rate them that highly. They're showing up.
I think the same thing happens with LATAM that happens with APAC that has happened for so long with LATAM. As the first bit of action breaks out. Maybe we'll pause our thoughts for just a second. Vertical getting a kill onto Ape. Vertical was the focus of yesterday's OXG matches, and not in the way that you want.
Nope.
He was a bottom tier performer on the team for his role and really did not stack up well when compared to his colleagues playing on other teams in that same role.
You're right. Had a rough start, but looking a little better so far right now. Evened up on that 3 for 3 currently. And the 1 assist, of course. Lax with a stun, the soft breach to clear off this piece of utility. Got a stun, told you, force him back into deeper into the bomb side of trophy. Gaimin Gladiators don't really have much to stand on right now. Sure, they got 2 C4s, but there's no smoke, no toxic babes, no shields. It's all gunfights right now with this wall being opened up by OXG. That means that all these positions are going to get weaker and weaker and more vulnerable as time goes on.
They're the footprints that Fox A sees. We'll go for the scan as well after a brief engagement occurs. Still a tiny bit of bullet fire over towards 90. That's about it. This is a trophy statuary defense. Again, not much engagement. Outside of Ape being picked off early, that's really it. Joe will now follow. A relatively early grave, and snap your fingers. They're all dead. That's a Thanos moment. Half the server gone. Hoven the only real hope. These could be impactless kills. Starts off with Fox A. How close can Hoven get? Spotted by Newers, but no real damage being taken. Hoven still in the top spot of landing, but it's Newers to hold, and there are very few who can tussle with the rookie from North America. 3 in a row for Oxygen. They've now grabbed the lead in the match.
That they have. Round 2, they got a plant but lost the round. Round 3, they got a plant and the round victory. Same goes in round 2, they got a flawless, and then now, in round 4, and then now they just saw round 5, another plant. So in the last 4 rounds, they got 3 plants and a flawless, and they've gotten 3 of those 4 opening kills. It's a completely different story than the first 2 rounds, was Gaimin Gladiators getting opening kills and round victories and retakes. Looking a lot better now for the North American team. They might even get some points on the board if they can keep this up. No longer be down there at the 0 mark. Dead last in their group. If we go back just 2 days before this group stage started, really, people would not have ever imagined or predicted that OXG would be in the position that they are in currently. There's still a very low chance they can get out of it. And it has to start right here, because if OXG would lose this matchup, it is damn near impossible for them to get any further.
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, I don't think anybody would have expected North America to perform this way, right?
No.
NA has been a very consistent region this year, and I know that it's very easy to clown on them, as a lot of people are doing on social media, and a lot of people are doing on Reddit, as is wont to happen. You boost yourself up as being one of the best regions, one of the most dominant regions, etc., and when you fall from grace, the fall for so many is going to be very sweet, and it's easy to fixate on that, but North America had a dominant performance at the 6 Invitational in Sweden.
Yep.
NA didn't have the best result at all in Mexico. They flat out stunk. In Yavla, NA flat out stunk. SI turned it around.
Yeah.
Half of the final 8 teams, 4 were North American or something along those lines.
Yep.
They ended up winning the 6 Invitational. In Charlotte, 3 of the final 4 were North American teams. So you have NA being a very dominant region for 2 lands in a row, and now they just do not look that good. But OXG is looking mighty fine. They got 3 kills so far.
Yeah, I mean, this round is over. They're on side. The planting 3 members instead of GG. It's a rough one.
It's Hoven and Ape to try and clutch out. Hoven being put in this position so many times. Timer running against Gaimin Gladiators. They have not used a timeout. Ape gets spotted as he tries to ascend towards the top of red stairs. It's a 3rd kill for Fox. A 4th could be here, depending on what happens with Hoven down below. Waiting. Nade goes down. Newers. Another flawless round, by the way. That's 2 flawless rounds for OXG. Things did not look good for Oxygen in rounds 1 or 2. Gaimin Gladiators, quite triumphant in round number 1. Round number 2, Diffuser goes down for OXG. Gaimin Gladiators win again. But as I say that, if you remember what happened in round number 1, it was almost a 1v2 victory for Fox. They came close.
Yes.
Close. It was a 1v4. He got 2 kills. Fell short. The final 20 seconds, could not find those last 2 kills with no intel. Gets killed. Round number 2, Dream gets the Diffuser down. A bit of a misplay from Gaimin Gladiators, but then it's a 1v1, and Dream loses it right as he's vulnerable, getting off of the Diffuse plant. OXG still gets good objective play. After that, unstoppable from Oxygen.
Absolutely.
4 opening picks, 4 rounds in a row, 2 of which are flawless. 2 Diffusers down in that time frame.
Yeah. That is very impressive. Statistically speaking, very impressive. And also, in that final round that we just saw, on that 2nd in a row trophy defense, Foxy really portrayed why the Nuke is such an annoying operator to deal with. Just got the opening kill, walked into the bomb site, found 2 more kills on the site itself, and it was just over from there. Then you gotta play retake for Gaimin Gladiators. We all saw how that went. It's a flawless round. It didn't even come close, and it's why Ape himself is also choosing to opt for the Nuke as well, because on Villa, you pretty much always have to play this operator at the very least. You're losing a bit of value if you're not. Joe is bringing out the Flores, which I love personally. You can clear out shields, strong positions, etc., corners with those Terra drones, even gain pieces of information. The one issue here is that FaZe has brought out the Mutant Nose Jammers. It's one of the few direct counters to the Flores. It's going to make it a little bit more difficult to get all the destruction that you want. That's where these grenades will come substitute, and they get almost 2 kills with a single grenade as Newers goes down again, but Dream also takes a ton of damage.
So OXG's defense not quite stacking up so far through round 1 of their defensive hold. That would be round 7 in the actual matchup.
So far.
But let's see Azami down too. Newers on his roll is going to be often first to die on his team, so don't be too bewildered or too heartbroken if you're a fan of OXG. Newers obviously staying alive gives the team a lot of strength. And if he can't drop 2 to 3 kills around, a lot of people have less faith in Oxygen to be able to hang in there.
It's true.
Not going to be able to do much here now. Be some poor timing for Opes. He does a bunch of damage towards Vault. He'll re-engage and finish off Foxy. Suppressor.
It's a headshot.
Nicely played. Foxy was on the ground, technically.
He was breakdancing, was what he was doing.
Was he breakdancing?
He was indeed breakdancing.
But not as Rook. The King George soundbite, the he's breakdancing. His old subset. Good old Georgie boy. Dream holding on stairs right now, limited HP, and he's used all of his smoke. So he's just going to be playing to die at this point.
That's a free fire.
Not much else. And I mean, he's playing to die, but he's living and flourishing. Dream and Laxing 2 kills immediately refragged by Gaimin Gladiators. And when it's a 5v3, you can do that. You can take those chances. Vertical is on the other side of the map. Gaimin Gladiators, if they look at this, will be able to get into the bomb site very quickly. What can Vert accomplish? Not much. Not anything at all. Hoven shuts him down in the very first attack. 4 Gaimin Gladiators is successful.
You can kind of tell that Gaimin Gladiators mean business now, because in that 1v3 that we just saw, they're playing super cautious, right? No one's swinging, no one's rushing the bombs, so they were droning out Vert. Then they swung when they had the yellow ping. But in the first couple of their defensive rounds, in those 1v3s, in those 1v2s, they're playing very loose, swinging, taking gunfights, and almost losing those rounds because of it. So I think the pressure is now on. We kind of see a shift in gameplay performance now, at the very least in playstyle from Gaimin Gladiators. Those opening kills really proving to be lethal, and also kind of telling the story of who wins the rounds, because in the first 2 rounds when Gaimin Gladiators won, they had the opening kill. And the one we just saw, they had the opening kill, also won the round. So opening kill so far actually has a 100% win rate for the outcome of the round in that case. So let's just look at who gets the opening kill and take it from there. Attacker repicks. Nomad onto Nomad. Interesting. Hibana onto Ace, and then the Nuke onto Jackal. So not gonna have that Nuke to sneak around, but do have the Jackal. They can do the same similar story, of course. Look for the footprints of the enemy operators, and then therefore figure out their location. Newers getting aggressive as ever. Swinging out the laundry door. Has a C4, and of course, why would he play the shotgun when he got the MP5 1.5x?
2 SMGs for your choosing.
Very true.
Still one mute jammer in his pocket. That means that Newers can roam, by the way. And he can drop that mute jammer wherever he so chooses. If he wants to, playing downstairs. But it looks like he's fallen off of that position. I wonder if Foxe is going to be able to grab one of these drones with all 3 pests now in action and give even more valuable utility to defenders.
Some information here. Hoven doing some self-destruction on the wall. Gonna force Foxe back. Vert sticks around for now, but usually when one member peels off, the second one kind of has to follow. You escort each other back towards the bombs out of safety at least. And there it is. Vert also making his way backwards. That's 1 minute soft cap here on the fallback. As Ape finds a footprint down below. That's going to be Bandit. That's Laxing. He has barbed wire, no C4. Can't do any vertical damage there. Foxe could if he were to rotate.
There's the feet being scanned all the way down. That'll be a long-range engagement with Foxe on the Commando. Nice stylistic choice, by the way, as to whether or not you want to run the Commando or run the Roni. Foxe re-engages, loses HP in the process, scampers off back to the bomb site, and now he will stay over in that area. There's still some off-site presence, and right as I say that, Foxe drops. And go back down.
Kill.
Go back down to the main floor. Underneath Ape, C4 still in the pocket for Foxe. It's weird that they're almost battling each other on a different floor. I think Ape might actually have a scan going out. Yeah, he does. So Fox8 dropped, knowing that he was getting Jackal tracked, and tried to bait him into a C4, but Ape knew better than that.
Well played. C4 burnt and tossed. Now, no longer any vertical issues for the side of Gaimin Gladiators. Sure, Numerous does have C4, so he's normally on the bomb side, and that's currently where he's positioned as well, or at the very least right below it inside of Dining Kitchen. Could be an important position for Numerous if Gaimin Gladiators were to try and plant down the diffuser on a soft floor on where Tolji is, inside the bomb site. Tolji looking to get aggressive, but Dream is proning on that floor, is safe and sound. The shield position here from Vert. He holds on, does a ton of damage on Tolji. It's going to be Dream now from the flank, trying to get that angle.
Still searching for our first kill. 30 seconds left into the round. Could it be found? Tolji downed.
Landing.
Ape the very first pick. So Gaimin Gladiators does open things up. Another from Ape. Joe adds to it too. Suddenly it's Laxing to clutch out the round with diffuser planted. All hope is lost of a potential comeback for OXG in this round, barring some incredible play from Laxing. He got an ace yesterday. Is he capable of doing it again? No, he's not at all. Big 3K from Ape, and Gaimin Gladiators tie the game up on an impressive 2-round streak on attack.
Yep, that was Tolji, just walking in, taking control, and more importantly, played a massive role in just causing confusion. Dream was so tunnel vision on trying to help Vert take down Tolji that the Toxic Babes weren't targeted towards the planter. They might not even have known that it was, that Diffuser was even trying to go down, but it was in fact. Toxic Babes, they were not even near him. OXG calling a tactical timeout. Both teams get to discuss with their coach what they think is going wrong. And so far, it's a dead even series.
Well, timeout being called by OXG. 30 seconds off of it so far, just narrowing down to the point of no return for their coach to speak to them. Hope standing behind Oxygen. Both teams get to talk to their coaches, by the way. It is not just the team that calls the timeout, for those that are curious.
That'd be unfair.
I mean, it would be, but you get one timeout. I mean, like, is it irresponsible to think, you know, or
it's like
unreasonable to think that
the other team just sits there and just like looks at each other while the other team talks?
Attackers need to locate and defuse
Yeah,
bombs.
that's not fair. I also feel like if you were to do that, you would often see if one team held the tactical timeout, the other team would just match it, right? Because you'd want to probably, in a lot of scenarios, in that case, you want to talk at the same time to figure out like what they think might be changing and what you think might be changing, etc. You just keep yourself on the same page. But OXG, they burn that timeout first. No more safety net for them. Whereas Gaimin Gladiators, they still have that kind of parachute, if you will, if things go desperately wrong for them in these rounds to come. It's going to be kitchen dining for OXG, and Newers is off the C4, off that vertical, and onto a, I would argue, stronger weapon in the Alibi. What's the weapon name again?
The Storm?
It's the Storm, that's
the
what
Alibi
it is.
MX4 Storm?
There it is, it's the Storm.
You should know this, you're a former pro.
But not an Alibi player by any means. When I played NA Challenger League qualifiers last week, I did play Alibi only, and oh my god, it was like playing easy mode compared to SMG11 Mute for Smoke,
Oh
I'm
my
telling
god,
you.
you played in Challenger League quals, we get it.
And I played Alibi, it was a great time. I felt like I was 20 years old again.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
fantastic.
You are such a gunner. Have I ever told you that?
No, you have never told me that.
You are such a gunner.
Such a gunner.
Oh my god, you are such a gunner.
I might be gunning for this. It's Foxy locking down the study area, does a bit of damage. Joe earlier got spawn peaked, almost down to 1 HP. Invert, he covers Foxy's 6 and gets a freebie onto Hoven. Now he's shut down on the entry.
To regain some of that momentum that they had, closing out the first half of this matchup. The team who gets the first blood wins the round 100% of the time. So,
True.
in this, at least in this matchup,
Yes.
given the fact that OXG has opened things up and you look at the HP of Gaimin Gladiators, what on earth could potentially be done to get them back in this? Well, not that kind of play from Ape, who misses out on an opportunity to kill Vertical. The roam from above of the Bandits, a little bit too strong, and could this be a third flawless round for OXG? They were flawless twice in the first half. Lost some of their luster as they switched sides, but with the timeout, seems like they're back to where they were. Or so we think.
So far for this round at least. And yeah, opening kill unless Joe and Rakes go absolutely nuclear, will stay with a 100% success rate. Opening kill equals round victory. So far for every single one of these rounds. Rakes gonna walk into the side door, try and look for a freebie. He might even find one, but he's gotta fight crossfires, multiple angles, multiple enemies, but no, it's the shotgun from Dream. A flawless round for OXG, the third so far in this matchup. That is a statistical success.
It is indeed. Well, I mean, what?
Oh, just like that?
Just like that. Gaimin Gladiators calls a timeout after that drubbing. And I do say drubbing because, again, a third flawless round. 3 of the 5 rounds won by OXG have been done without a single kill coming on behalf of Gaimin Gladiators. That's a very defiant and definitive result. I said Gunner, by the way. I actually think it's kind of funny that there's a Gunner sponsorship on the jerseys of OXG. I actually didn't really...
That's true.
I didn't notice that.
Didn't plan that one? Amateur.
Either way, both of these teams are at the bottom of their group. 1 point between the two of them. That's correct. 1 point. You are hearing that. W7M sits atop the group with 9 points. 5 points for Wolves. OXG, if they lose this match, their path to the playoffs on the weekend basically evaporates. It's the same with Gaimin Gladiators, but the difference is that Gaimin Gladiators' single point puts them in better position to actually catch up to Wolves and to catch up to OXG. But as you can see on the bottom of your screen, a regulation loss, pretty deflating for both of these teams.
Both need every single point they can get. And they would prefer to be in regulation because then one team gets 3 whole points. It's very nice.
I don't know how many people need to hear this, by the way, but this is kind of like an moment. The Gaimin Gladiators logo is 2 Gs side by side that make the Centurions helmet. Yep.
Nice. Good find,
A lot
Parker.
of people don't recognize that.
Did you just recognize it just now, or?
No, I've known it for a while.
Oh, okay.
I actually think I talked about it. I see. I didn't play in Challenger League, but there was one time where I couldn't travel. I think it was because I had visa issues. I can't remember what it was, but anyway, I was an analyst.
Oh yeah.
Challenger League.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I was an analyst for Challenger League, and I pointed out the Gaimin Gladiators had the GG as the logo for the Centurion. I'm assuming it's a Centurion. Vertical starts things off in 30 seconds with an opening pick. Again, we would like to remind you, the team that gets the opening pick in this matchup has then gone on to win the round 100% of the time. If you are Oxygen, after Gaimin Gladiators just burn their time out, you're smiling. You're happy about that because it means that you will likely move to match point and be in even better position to close this out in regulation. After losing Tolji, the star of Gaimin Gladiators so far has been Hoven. Even though a lot of those kills have been impactless.
Oh.
He'll engage with Newers, or Vertical rather, even though Newers was there originally, and silence Vertical, but Ape off-site gets taken out by Dream. So the advantage still in favor of OXG as we almost hit the halfway point of round number 10.
Also, a fair bit of map control. Foxy has a steady side control, laxing up above, and of course 2 members on bomb site itself. So we're finding ourselves from OXG's side in a good tradable position. Dream laxing playing Astro side, Newers in master bedroom. As mentioned before, Foxy on study. And Gaimin Gladiators still gotta make a decision where to go and when to do it, because right now they're spread very thin. Joe down below, 1 person master bedroom balcony. That's gonna be Rix with diffuser, and his ace. Can't quite get these walls because the jammers are put there from Newers. Nate goes out, but no one is quite nearby, so this nade doesn't really do much. If possible, try and clean out those jammers, get the wall opened up, apply a bit of pressure. That's gonna get you started, but you still need to find the multiple kills with a minute to go. And unless OXG expose themselves unnecessarily to those poor angles, they should be in a comfortable position to just drive home this round by not really doing a whole lot, just sitting back and waiting for GG to reach the bomb side.
Yeah, you can be really patient here, right? All you've lost is Vertical at this point. Time is not necessarily on the side of the attackers as it continues to get towards the point of no return. So Gaimin Gladiators have very limited windows to get to this bomb site. And as I say windows, I mean quite literally. Laxing engaged by Hoven. We said that a lot of these kills were impactless, but not the case in this round. So far, 2 huge picks for the Nook. Dream in a tough spot as he's the next one to be pressured. All of Gaimin Gladiators coming from Astro's side. Rix denies Hoven a third kill, but the Nook will still lead the charge into the bomb site, leaving Newers and Foxay to hold off. Newers with one, another over, and he gets it, a huge play. It leaves OXG in the driver's seat. With Joe in the midst of the bomb site and only a second left, Foxay will shut the door on a Gaimin Gladiators comeback and move OXG to match point.
6 rounds on the board for OXG, 4 inside of Gaimin Gladiators, and it's looking like OXG has really woken up since round 3. They're in much stronger positions, making better decisions, and not sacrificing that early man lead anymore. Because more often than not, OXG, they find the opening kill. So far, in 6 rounds, it's been OXG finding it, where Gaimin Gladiators, only 4. This last final round, potentially, is again statistically heavily defined by the opening kill. So, very first kill is going to be very important.
Not just important,
it's going to be crucial. That is indeed. Laxing choosing to play a bunch of Bandit here, I imagine it's because that he plays Kite normally when OXG played Clubhouse, both against W7M and against Wolves yesterday. Laxing was in the Kite every single round. There's also the object that he got an ace with on Clubhouse as well. Because it was opted to be banned out by Gaimin Gladiators, he's playing Bandit instead, which honestly is going quite well for him too. He has more freedom, can put down those Bandit batteries in the barbed wire, and the walls, etc. And just run around with the MP7, a high fiery gun, great for aiming for the headshots, great at finding those kills. 4 members of GG on the study balcony side. Clearly gonna go to that lobby area and study balcony to try and take control of office. It's gonna be Rix, the lone heartbeat spawning all by himself across 90. He has to run over and help his teammates. He has the flashbangs and he also has the drones.
Get the first kill, win the round,
easy.
Win the match. That's Oxygen's strategy moving forward. Oh, what a time it would be for that to break. Oh, what a time it would be for Gaimin Gladiators to get the first pick, or Oxygen to get the first pick and lose. Or Gaimin Gladiators to get the first pick and then Oxygen to win. In terms of those first bloods right now, it's 6-4. Duh. Foxay narrowly losing his life. Stays alive for a time being. Viewers will tackle the assault that will come towards Study.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Gaimin Gladiators is quite waiting here. Just waiting. Droning out library. Tossing a few grenades out, but nothing really concrete so far. Not really signifying a push anywhere just yet, but with these Retera drones, you could do a bait and switch. Send a drone up, follow its trail, try and get this kill on main stairs. That opens up the entire round because top main stairs is your #1 priority right now.
And that Azami sitting on that position with the Kiva barrier where it is, it cuts off 2 of the most lethal angles to punish the Azami. Over towards Art and over towards Hallway. Now, as the Azami of Newers sits there, you only have to focus on a single area. That said, Newers has fallen off, and with a minute to go is granted Gaimin Gladiators that part of the map.
It's free.
Foxay taken down by Ape. First pick for Gaimin Gladiators, you know what that means.
Bomb has been located.
Oh boy. Gotta take all the way. Rix has a second as well, just solidifying the fact that opening kill is everything right now between these two teams. It's 5v3 and OXG. It's Dream, Vert, and Laxing gonna make a miracle happen here. Try and get this round.
A shotgun out at such close range, doing double duty, staring down towards the bottom of main stairs, but also, or classical stairs, also looking towards the doorway into games. Dream's role will be incredibly pivotal. Gaimin Gladiators hold a 5v3 advantage with 30 seconds left. They got those first 2 picks, and now they just need to line up the troops. Told you we'll hunt Laxing, and Laxing will die to this from the left if Laxing doesn't look. They're very, very close. Vertical gets the very first pick for OXG. Laxing collapses on Tolji. Ape keeps the numbers close, but suddenly it's Hoven! But he gets taken out by Dream. 2 kills for Dream, and it'll give Oxygen the win. They forfeit the first pick, but they get all the rest, and that's what matters. 7-4 for the North American team as Oxygen gets their very first win here in Berlin.
You really did speak that into existence, Parker.
My bad.
What if Gaimin Gladiators gets the kill and OXG wins the round in the final moment? Well, they did. They got 2 opening kills, in fact. It was a 3 versus 5. And yet OXG came out on top, and that scoreboard right there was messy. And OXG can be happy with the 3 points, but it's very late into the group stage.
Gaimin Gladiators' chance of making it out of the groups just took a significant blow. Oxygen are not that much closer to the playoffs, but at least they picked up 3 huge points that keep them competitive. It would have been dire straits had they suffered yet another regulation loss and ended on an 0-3 through their first 3 games halfway through their run in the group stage. That said, that's it for GG versus OXG.